What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So you may have noticed recently I haven't been playing Cyber Dragon. We've been lacking on the content for it. It's true. We've been on Punk Virtual World, Punk Eldritch, things like that. Sometimes you just need a break from certain decks, and that's what we did. We took a break from it, but we wanted to start a new series where we do 10 ranked matches on Dueling Book and then break the deck down into a bunch of different categories that you'll see here. And I figured it would be fitting for me to go back to Cyber Dragon, back to the beginning, to start this series. So we went on to Dueling Book, did 10 ranked matches. We actually went 10-0, so we're going to break down the match, or the matchups, the deck, everything like that, show the deck list, and all the good stuff. Without further ado, if you do like the playmat on the screen without the words in there, you can also see it hanging up here behind me. There is a link down below for that. Dragon Rider Games up above me, link down below me for that as well. Best place to get online testing: Dueling Book, EDO, Dueling Nexus, Master Duel, Rogue format, current format, old formats, Scythe Band format. We have something for everybody. Cheap tournaments, expensive tournaments. Done talking. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and what were my matchups? I said I went 10-0. Starting at 292 ranking, finishing at 440. By the way, let me know down below what other decks you'd like to see in this series. I am in the middle of working on episode number 2, but episode 3 is going to need a deck, and I will pick one from the comment section below. So let me know what you'd like to see me play. My matchups were Drytron, we won 2-1. Gladiator Beast was 2-0. Ancient Warriors, the guy was, Dueling Book sometimes. Right off the bat, it said the good luck, and he had some comments and figured it wouldn't be that hard, and he did rage quit, invoked Eldritch. I was just about to win game 1, and he solemned my Nova. I was in a winning position even if he solemned the Infinity anyway, which is the correct call, because if you solemn the Nova, it floats and you get the effect. He argued that it wasn't on the field, but we all know from our ruling video, if you don't, go check it out, that if you solemn Nova, it says possession, not field, so it will float into a fusion monster, or fusion machine. He did rage quit after that. Who knows how games 2 and 3 would have went. Guru Control we beat. Brave Knights, that's Brave PK for those who don't know. Brave being the adventurer package. Pure Zodiac, and he was on a ton of hand traps, but we managed to win 2-0 there. Floanderies, absolutely hate that deck. If there's any deck in this format, it's not Brave, it's not Scythelock, it's not DPE, it's Floanderies that makes me not like the format. Overall, though, I think it is a pretty fun format, and I do enjoy it. We then 2-0'd Sword Soul, and oddly enough, we ended the episode losing to Skull Servants game 1. This was a deck where I kind of just didn't really, once he started like normal summoning like White Prince or something, I was just like, okay, this is free, it's gonna be bad. Like, I didn't want this to be the way it went, and I didn't respect what he was doing and just shotgunned my Infinity, and he actually made a 10,000 King of the Skull Servants and OTK'd me. So lesson learned: just because you don't think they're gonna do anything, don't sleep on your opponents, because if they have the right hand and yours is less than stellar, you can lose to a bad deck. Nonetheless, it was actually a really fun match. We won games 2 and 3 very easily. Once you know what the deck does, it's like super glass cannon, easy to stop. But it was kind of neat to see Skull Servant actually being a playable-ish deck. Anyway, we did get a win there, though. So we finished it. We didn't go 9-1 with a Skull Servant surprise there to beat us. So let's go ahead and break it down. Going first, game 1, I lost, I think, what did I lose? I lost 8 of my 10 die rolls, which a big thing I like about Cyber Dragon is it's not a die roll dependent deck. Game 1's going first, I was 0-1, and that was the Skull Servant one, where I definitely could have won had I just, actually paid a little bit better attention, not just shotgun my lone disruption and like, oh, hopefully it's enough, who cares. I just, like I said, I didn't respect the matchup, and I lost because of it. Post-siding, I did go 6-2. Going first grade out of 10, I still only wanted to give it a 6.5, though, because as much as I want to say, oh, well, I was 6-2, and I should have been 1-0, so like 7-2 I could have been, at the same time, like siding in 6 going first traps doesn't make it a 9 out of 10 going first deck. Like, I wanted to kind of bump it up a little bit because you have the room to put these traps in. And I mean, you can still make Infinity Dragoon or Infinity DPE. You can go for Scythe Lock. And this build is the more standard DPE build. This is not Cyber Traps. This is not Cyber Synchro. This is not any mix like that. So I do want to just mention that because if people say, well, you add these engines, then you can do it. This video is specific to Cyber DPE, like a standard machine dupe build. So I did want to give them a little lower ranking, even though, like I said, you can make Infinity DPE or Dragoon and a hand trap decently easy. But I didn't think it warranted really much more than a 6.5. I debated on 7, and I was like 7, 6, 7, 6, and I went to 6, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to put 0.5 increments in there because I don't think it's a 6, but I don't think it's a 7, so we did settle in between. Going second, however, game 1's 9 matches, we went 8-1. Our one loss was Drytron. Not really too surprising for most. But so that was our one loss going first. Game 1 was to Drytron. Otherwise, post siding again 4-1. Like, the deck was just doing really good going second, and I do think it's a 10 out of 10 going second. Like, you can fit easily 15 going second cards, whether that's hand traps, board breakers, things like that. And post siding too, you can cater your high impact cards to whatever matchups you're playing. And Cyber Dragon breaks boards, it OTKs, it can control the pace of a match. The deck can do a lot, and I think going second, there's not many decks, if any, that are really better. I'm sure there's some out there, but like Cyber Dragon's right at the top when going second. It's other issues that hold it back from being a top tier deck. So I do give it a 10 out of 10 going second. So our final grades for Cyber Dragon, like I said, 6.5 going first, 10 out of 10 going second. Resiliency. What is resiliency? How well does Cyber Dragon play through disruption? How well does it play through hand traps? I got hand trapped. My opponent opened a hand trap and used it on me 6 games out of the 23. They did have hand traps as the game went on, but I didn't want to try and figure out and be like, well, you know, in a grind game or this, because there's so much RNG that goes into that too. Whereas at least like your opening hands, I mean, there's RNG involved no matter what. But it's kind of like opening hands versus hand traps or versus my opponent's starting board. How well do you play through it? I gave it a 6 out of 10, mostly because I'm playing 9 high impact hand traps. So instead of trying to play through boards, I am trying to prevent them and then play through weaker boards. You're usually going to be able to play through 1 to 2 disruptions. It's when they start doing more than that, or they get like floodgate type locks on you, that you're going to struggle a little more. Seeing all these rankings, I'm sure people are like, you went 10-0, why is it low tier 2? Why is it rogue? Why is it only a 7.5? Like, quality of your opponent, like playing some of these matches, like I had someone have effect veiler and Nibiru, and they effect veilered my core, and then like Nibiru'd me a little bit later, and I like played through both, and it's just like, why not let me commit to a board, put up a negate, Nibiru me, and then just effect veiler my negate? I just like certain things like that, so I didn't want to put too much into these matches because 10 is a small sample size too. So I just wanted to kind of, you know, my opponents didn't necessarily hand trap me at the best points or use them effectively. So I didn't want to like be like, oh, well, I won every match I got hand trapped, it's a 10 out of 10. No, that's not exactly how it works. So I wanted to actually be a little more in depth with it. Like I said, 1 to 2 disruptions. 1 is easy. 2 is probably more often than not, depending on what they are. Like negate and destroys 2 is also hard. Like just straight up negates usually ain't that bad. Consistency, I gave it a 7. I think the deck's actually pretty consistent. It just, how consistently can you play through 1 disruption? How consistently can you play through like a negate on board and a hand trap, or a trap and a hand trap? And this kind of ties in with resiliency, and I almost gave resiliency a little bit higher too, and consistency I was on like wavering back and forth. You can run cards like prosperity and things, small world, if you really want, even though it's a -1, to boost your consistency. But overall, I gave it a 7 because we all know Cyber Dragon can brick, especially this build with the Machine Dupe and the OG Cyber Dragons. Overall versatility. What is versatility? So versatility to me means like, what can the deck do? People get so tunnel visioned in with Cyber Dragon, and they think it's, I need to win now, I need to OTK, I need to do it in one turn. This is it, it's my chance. And I just think that's a big misunderstanding. Like, Cyber Dragon grinds pretty well, and like, if you manage your resources and don't just like throw it all out there turn one unless you're gonna win, or like you're in a game state where you have to win that turn. Like, sometimes your opponent, you'll have the droplet and be able to stop their board, but you have to commit to winning that turn, and it doesn't always work. But knowing when you have to. But as far as versatility, the deck can kind of go first, but otherwise, like I said, you can go Scythe Lock, you can go DPE, Dragoon, Infinity. Obviously, you can fit in hand traps too, so it's not just like, you're not just making a monster board. You can have layers of disruption, and what that is like your monster negates, like your Infinity, your DPE, your Dragoon, your Zeus, your back row, like floodgates, like overflow, things like that, and then also hand traps. So it's layers of disruption. So I gave it a 8 out of 10. Overall grade 7.5. That's just adding them up and dividing them. Overall, though, I think it's a low tier 2/rogue. And then just a couple things I wanted to mention. Other notes: cost range. How much does Cyber Dragon cost? If you want to play it effectively, it's going to cost more. This is Lightning Storms, Forbidden Droplets, Prosperities, things like that are going to help, but they're not 100% needed. So you're probably going to be in the $150 to $1,000 range. It's a really vague area because, it kind of depends on how competitive and what access cards you have. So you're going to be in that range somewhere. Difficulty to play. The deck's not super hard to play. It's just hard to play well. And like, there's just so many little intricate plays, I guess. So maybe we'll do a more in-depth video on that. But that's why I give it like a 5 to 8 out of 10, because it's not the hardest to play. It's not like this huge combo line where you have to memorize it, but there is a lot of little interactions and knowing which play lines to go for when. So I do think that is something worth noting. So like a 5 to 8, because it's easy to play pretty much any deck, but how hard is it to play it well? And that's why I give it the 8, trying to play it good and competitive. There's certain people who, when they pick up this deck, you expect them to do well. Yassine, James, Alex, and a handful of other people. I could probably name 10, but we're not here for that today. But I'm going to go grab a quick drink of water, and then we'll go over that deck list. So here we are with the deck list. I am playing 43 cards because with the bricks, you see them a little bit less, and it works out. Trying to fit in everything I wanted to, so we'll go through kind of ratios and then talk about why. 3 Cyber Dragon, 3 Core, 3 Hers, 1 Naxxer, 1 Fear, 2 Galaxy Soldiers. I was really happy with this. I liked the 3-3-3-1 for my 10 lineup for quite a while. I understand 2 Naxxer. I just kind of felt like 1's plenty. You can definitely play 2. There's not anything wrong with it per se. But I've really liked 1 personally for space mostly too. I did put in the Fear because Flounderies is a big issue, and they had a huge impact on my deck because I've been seeing them so much, like in real life, online, all over the place. And I just wanted to kind of make note of that and have like answers and outs. Plus Chain Blocking Core, the extra level for Overflow are nice. But you normal summon it and it's 1600 attack, so like, I really do like Fear for this format personally. Hand traps. So what are like the best decks? You got like base, you have Flounderies, you got like Invoked is up there, Brave decks, Phantom Knight decks, there's Eldritch decks. So I really liked Artifact Lancia. I personally love high impact hand traps. Anyone who's seen the channel knows that. I talk about it all the time. Ash, Bell, like cards like these, they're usually really good, but they're 1-for-1 trade-offs, and they usually need your opponent to not open extenders in order to really be effective. whereas these cards can actually do a lot on their own. So I do really like Lancia this format, Droll too, especially because like any Brave deck, they go search out the equip spell. Then if they don't have Griffin, they can't go search that out either. And on top of that, even if their engine only has like one search typically, because a lot of decks will, and that's why some formats Droll's not that good, because once they get their one ad, they don't care too much. But if they use the Brave first, now they don't even get that one ad that their actual engine needs. So I do actually like Droll right now too. Gamma, because like Flaunderies, their quick play lets them play through like Imperm or Valor. Book of Moon lets them play through it. They do chain block a lot, so keep an eye out for that. But like negating and destroying is just so good. So I do really like Gamma, especially too like if you emergency and they Droll. Like that kind of hurts. So then you can Gamma the Droll and then obviously go on from there. The 2 hero bricks, 3 emergency, 1 repair, 1 rev, 1 overload, 3 machine dupe. That's kind of the standard Cyber Dragon ratios, I guess. Not a whole lot to say about it. If you have questions, let me know down below. Then the 2 fusion destinies, because we can't play 3. You actually want to open it, so that's why we do max it out still. 3 cosmic cyclones, because like quick play, it's really good. You can hit like Dreaming Town because it needs to activate in the main phase. Pandemonium has to activate in the main phase. You can chain it to skill drain. You can chain it to like floodgates. Otherwise, like I just really like banishing too. So Cosmic's just really strong overall. Forbidden Droplet too, another card is just really good. I hardly saw it, and you could play Chalice instead, but you lose the best part about Droplet, where your opponent can't respond to it. And another thing I was doing with this deck is like preparing for Scythe lock too. So like if they go for Scythe, a lot of time they'll do it early. Like I have Gamma to stop Scythe, I have Cosmic to banish Scythe, I have Forbidden Droplet to stop Scythe. So not only do my hand traps hit a lot of the top decks, and I have 9 of them, like with Cosmics and Droplets and Gamma too, I also have pretty good like countermeasures against the Scythe lock, and these are pretty important things. And there was a match, and I would do it, I've done it a few times, where my opponent DPE pops Scythe, they go to grave, then Scythe 1, DPE 2, and you could wait for Scythe to come back and then Scythe it, or Gamma it on the field effect, because Scythe does activate on field. But I actually liked, like this was a game I knew I wouldn't be able to go for game anyway, so I Gamma'd the DPE and grave just to like get their grind away from me and let them Scythe lock me, and then I just got Scythe locked for 1 turn but broke their board the next turn and won. So like things like that are the little interactions, because like I said, a lot of people just Gamma the Scythe and then try to push for game, but if you don't get it, DPE comes back and you can just fall behind so fast on resources. 1 overflow card's just crazy. Side deck, Scythe shouldn't need too much explaining. Like we make Infinity Dagda super easily, and if you open Fusion Destiny, you do that. Otherwise, you can still make Infinity Dagda and Verde really easily too. So like you can go into Dagda first and then activate a card to trigger it to set Scythe, and then use that as one of your 2 monsters even for Verde. So being able to make like the Scythe lock plus Infinity is actually pretty easy. 3 Nibiru for certain matchups, again high impact hand traps. Lightning Storm and Evenly for more back row, plus the 3 Cyclone that I have. Anti-Spell, I do really like Anti-Spell this format too, because it just shuts down so much, and it like forces that Droplet from the hand in the standby phase, so they can't even like try to get the most out of their resources and send a card on field that they already activate. They have to use it from hand right away. Summon Limit then to another really strong going first card. These are my 6 going first cards. They did absolute wonders for me siding them in. Mega Fleet, plus your DPE can out them too if you need to, so like you can out your own pretty easily. Our extra deck then, the 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, we got Rampage Dragon, pretty standard all there. DPE obviously, Makaba for our Nova, like Nova floats. If they Nibiru you on Nova, you can like go Makaba. Obviously Nibiru can just run over the Makaba, so it's not always the best thing to do, but sometimes you can make DPE too. Otherwise, that's where the Link Spider comes in. You can like float into Makaba to save your Rampage, and then toke it into Link Spider, then go into Verde, make your DPE anyway. One Omega, and here like Omega Nova to Makaba, that's more of Dogmatica counters for Maximus. You send Omega and you send Nova, so then you get the negate on board, and you have a out to DPE already that they have to start playing around. So I do really like that for Dogmatica. But the 2 Nova, 2 Infinity, 1 Zeus, pretty standard. All Mirage, Link Grieve, or Link Spider, Verde, Dagda. Nothing too crazy here. But yeah, that's kind of the deck profile, guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll happily try to answer them. Sorry about the technical difficulties and my voice going out on me and everything. But we're back. Cyber Dragons, here we go. I do want to play the deck more because this was really fun, and it got me really wanting to play the deck again. I just needed a break from it for a while, and it can't even say that without coughing. In real life, I am still playing Punk Virtual World because the deck's super fun and I love that too. But I do want to play this online a little bit more because, like I said, playing it for this, going 10-0 just got me so excited. But we're ready to, go ahead and do episode 2. Like I said, working on it. If you watched this long, I'll give you the spoiler. It is Mech Knights that we're doing. So Mech Knight will be episode 2. I'm currently 1-1. Got 8 more matches to go. We'll see how it goes. And then episode 3, I need a deck to play. So let me know down below. Thanks for watching and take care.